I've gone outside to enjoy the nice weather because a few weeks ago, I recorded a video about the Allpowers R1500 power bank and its accompanying solar panels. Well, there were 3 things that I didn't get to show you, and one of those things requires us to start out here. At the same time, I've also gotten my hands on the R1500's bigger brother, the R2500, along with a set of portable solar panels that have twice the output of the ones from the last video. So you can get an idea of what you can do if you need more power. In the last video, I showed how the R1500 could power the lights in my studio and let me stream video to my flat screen without having either electricity or internet in the house. I also hooked up my microwave so I could have fresh hot popcorn for the movie. But even though I showed you how you can connect solar panels to the R1500, we never actually got to see what those solar panels could deliver, because it was a dull grey winter day last time, which is really not optimal for producing renewable energy. But now we've entered the spring months, and today there's blue sky and plenty of sun. So now we're going to see what these portable solar panels are actually capable of. And since this video is also about more power, we'll also see how much more energy the large 400-watt portable panel can deliver under the same conditions. A little later, I'll also show you how you can charge your power bank from your car. And then we'll take a closer look at the Allpowers app and discuss when you might need the big brother, the R2500. But let's start with the solar panels. I've gone up to the roof of our townhouse because it's a flat roof and there's an unobstructed view of the sun. The sun is still a bit low in the sky here at the beginning of March, so I thought this would give us the best conditions. I've started by connecting the small 200-watt panel, so let's see how much energy it's producing. Right now it's delivering 140 watts to the R1500, so that's about 2/3 of its maximum output. But what happens if I connect the 400-watt panel? Let's take a look. The 400-watt panel is currently delivering 250 watts. That's a little over 100 watts more, so there is definitely a difference. I've actually seen them go over 300 today, and this one was also up around 170. Of course, it also depends a bit on the angle to the sun. I think that when we get a little closer to summer, when the sun is closer to us, well, then they can probably go even higher. But that's how it is right now here in March, so 140 and around 250. Another thing I didn't show you in the previous video is the option to charge your power bank via your car. Someone actually asked about that in the comments, so I contacted Allpowers to find out if it was possible. And it is. And now they've sent me the cable that's needed. So let's try connecting it. It gets connected here on the side, in the same place where you connect the solar panels. And on the other end, there's a good old-fashioned cigarette lighter plug, which I can connect to the car down here. You can actually use this whether you have an electric car or a gasoline or diesel car. The only difference is that with your gasoline or diesel car, the engine needs to be running if you don't want to drain your 12-volt battery along the way. We are now charging at full power, and it looks like it's just over 100 watts. So of course, it's going to take about 10 hours to charge this from 0 to 100. But if you're out on a drive, then it's an option. Now at least, you have the option to do vehicle to load, you could say, in any car, as long as you have a cigarette lighter socket. The third thing I didn't show you in the previous video was the Allpowers app. And I also promised to show you the R1500's big brother, so let's use that as an example. It's quite a beast at 29 kilos, so not quite as portable as its little brother, but on the other hand, it has a battery with a full 2016 watt-hours. That's 75% more than the R1500. That means it can supply power for 75% longer. But more importantly, the R2500 can also deliver 2,500 watts through its 230-volt outlets, whereas the R1500 can only deliver 1,800 watts. Is that important? I'll get back to that in a moment. But first, let's take a look at the app. To activate Bluetooth, you hold down the DC button for a few seconds, and then you can connect in the Allpowers app. Inside the app, you can see the current state of charge and how long you can supply power at the current consumption. You can also see how much power is going in and out. Right now it's 0 watts because nothing is connected to it. You can also go in and turn the different outputs on and off directly from your phone. Just like that, And if you go into settings, you can decide how fast the power bank should charge when you connect it to a regular 230-volt outlet. And here you can choose between 3 different levels. In general, it's better for the batteries to charge at low power, so if you're not in a hurry, you can choose the setting called Mute. Then it takes about 3 hours to charge the battery from 0 to 100%, and it's also on this setting that the fan in the R2500 runs at its lowest speed. So let me just try turning it on once. There we go. And if I go back to the main screen, I can see how much I'm charging with my input, and it's about 660 watts on the R2500 here. The R1500 charges at about 400 watts when it's on the mute setting. If I go back to settings and select the setting called Standard, well, then we increase the charging power, and it goes up to about 1000 watts. That also means the fan runs a bit faster. If you want to charge as quickly as possible, then you can go in and select the setting called Fast Mode. And then things really speed up. Then the R2500 actually charges at a full 2000 watts, so you can fill up the battery in about an hour. Under settings, you can also activate what's called Eco Mode. When it's activated, both the AC and DC outlets on the device will automatically turn off after the time you set below, which can be from 1 hour up to 6 hours, so you can make sure it doesn't drain itself of power. I've gone out to my kitchen because I promised to show you why it's important how much power your power bank can deliver. At first glance, the 1800 watts that the R1500 can handle sounds like quite a lot. But if we look, for example, at one of the most popular kitchen appliances in recent years, the air fryer, well, there are actually plenty of models that require much more power than that. Now, our air fryer is quite small, so it doesn't use much more than 1300 watts. But to simulate what happens if you try to draw more power than that, I've connected our toaster next to it. So let's try to see what happens when I turn on these two. We'll start with the air fryer. And as mentioned, it draws about 1300 watts. But watch what happens now. Consumption shot up to 2100 watts, and that's more than the R1500 can handle. But let's try switching it over to the R2500 and do the same exercise. We start with the air fryer. It's running, it's drawing the 1300 watts, and then I'll just turn on the toaster as well. And now we're drawing 2100 and some odd watts, and the R2500 can easily handle that. And that's why it can be a good idea to have a power bank that can deliver a bit more power than usual. I'll just stop these again so you can hear what I'm saying. There we go. It's a terrible noise. Well, an air fryer is of course just an example, but I think it's a pretty good one because it could be relevant for people in a caravan or maybe at their summer house who want to use one to cook with. The point is, if you have electrical appliances that draw more than 1800 watts, then you need a larger power bank to run them. It doesn't have to be an air fryer. It could also be an electric heater, an electric chainsaw, or something similar. If you feel like getting your own power bank at home, the best place to buy Allpowers products is through their European website. They have a much larger selection than you can find in most web shops, and when you buy directly from Allpowers, you also get a 5-year warranty. You just need to register your product once you have received it. They ship from Germany, so delivery only takes a few days, and if you use the code TV10, you'll get an extra 10% discount when you order, even on items that are already on sale. I've put links to all the different products down in the description. See you soon.